Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. Today is Tuesday and it's 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I tell you, we got a really good show today. We got a brand new guest and a returning guest. So I'm kind of excited to hear about what the new guest has to talk about. But we also going to cover Robert Saunders, who is also a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award winner. I'm looking to get his testimony out there on him receiving this award on last year. So let's get this puppy started in here. First thing I want to do is give a shout out to my mentor, Dr. Hunt. Dr. Hunt and I have been traveling in life together for 30 plus years. And out of the 30 plus years that we have been traveling together, he has been a blessing to both me and my family, as well as I have been a blessing to him and his family. So one of the main reasons that I talk about mentors and my mentor is to encourage you to get a mentor. Somebody that you can trust, somebody that you can talk to, somebody that can help you navigate this thing called life. I tell you, without mentors in your life, it's too easy to go the wrong way without being able to have some help to get out of it. So get a mentor and then get someone to give you a show so you can shout your mentor out. Okay. I want to encourage you all to go over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, I want you to take a look around, check everything that's going on at the website. Check out especially my advertisers. They make it possible for me to do what I do every time I go live. So I have a few of them here that I want to talk about on today. So Serve Synergy, if you're interested in getting solar panels for your business or for your home, you're going to want them to be the consultants to help you navigate through the world of solar panel businesses. There are many people out there that are taking advantage of people because you don't know. So you're going to want to reach out to Source Energy, talk to them. They will help you navigate so that you get a good deal, not a bad deal, but get a great deal. How about that? Serve Synergy. Port Again Sam. Now, Port Again Sam has been with me for almost 10, 15 years now. And Sam brings in some of the best wines and spirits from all over the world. Now, I don't know if you like a good cognac or a good wine, but he's the person you're going to want to talk to because he has exclusive. You can't get it no place else. And he's got inventory in. Usually he runs out during the Christmas and New Year's holiday season, but he still got some inventory. I just talked to him the other day, and he still got a few exclusive items in. You're going to want to go see him. You want to click on any one of the banners. It'll take you to their website. You're going to want to schedule a wine tasting so you can find your new wine. See, I'm a cognac drinker, y'all. So every time he called me, I get in the car and I'm on my way because I know once it's gone, it's gone. Okay? So get over there. Check out what he's got so that you can find your new favorite wine or cognac. And last but not least, I want to talk about the Prince Hunter Financial Group. Now, if you're interested in learning anything about the stock market or the Forex market, there are a lot of people making money every day. There's a lot of people losing money every day. But if you want to educate yourself, if you want to be one of those people that understand what you're looking at, you want to get in touch with the Prince Hunter Financial Group. They can help you navigate through understanding what the stock market is all about. They teach classes every day. You better get in there so you can try and figure it out. Now, one thing about the Prince Hunter Financial Group, we have a special promotion that's going on. If you reach out to them, tell them you heard about it on the Dr. Ron show, you can get four free classes, 4 free classes, okay? He will help you understand in those 4 hours what it is that you're going to like about it or not like about it. So it's a good jump start to help you understand what the stock market is all about. So I encourage you, click on the banner, go over to the website, make an appointment to get your 4 free classes and start your new career, understanding what the stock market is really all about. Okay? You want to do that. All right, because his classes fill up fast, so you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. So, like I said at the beginning of the show, we got a returning guest. Robert Saunders has been on the show many times before. He has helped many people in the housing market, and he and I have chopped it up over various programs that his company offer or used to offer. And he has helped people save their homes in many number of ways. And he has been such a hero in the community with helping people with how understanding, housing situations and circumstances. So now, under his advisement, I'm bringing to you a new person to the show, Miss Mary of AGORA. So I would like to welcome to the show for the very first time, Miss Mary.
Well, I am so honored to be here, Dr. Ron. I really am excited about reaching out and being able to reach out concerning housing because that's my heart, that's my passion. Um, I'm happy to be here
Well,
and to be
thank
of
you.
service.
Well, welcome to the show. So now, since Robert invited you onto the show along with him, I'm gonna have Robert, give us a little information about you so that we'll all know what he knows. How about that? Come on, Robert, talk to us.
Well, I'm going to say, first of all, Ron, I just thank you for having me on the show once again. And I don't even remember how many times I've been on the show. I know it's a number of times, but and we've also been a benefit and have helped several people that have been listening in on the show. So if you're listening um, to the show right now, Dr. Ron is a man who knows people and knows stuff. And so I am just blessed to be known by him, and for him to be my brother, and for me to be his brother. Mary Jones is a good friend of mine, and she's also uh, a hard worker. We both do the same thing. We're both housing counselor advisors, and we didn't just come into this. We've been into this in this fight for a long time. Both of us at one time were real estate agents. I worked with Wells Fargo. She was a real estate agent before we even came into housing counseling. And we just brought that knowledge into what we do and have done what we can to help uh, save housing, people who were homeowners, and also put people who were trying to be homeowners in the homes. And as Dr. Ron had stated, I was very humbled in June of this year by receiving the President's Lifetime Achievement Award. And it humbled me so much to the point that, you never know, those of you that are listening, you never know in life what you're doing to try and benefit someone else. And then they come back and then they honor you with something like that. It just humbled me. I didn't get the big head, didn't get puffed up. I'm not puffed up now. He'll tell you that. But I was just humbled, and it makes you want to do more to try to help people in the community. But Mary, she serves the primarily the South Side of Chicago, but she can go in the South suburbs just like I can, and pretty much anywhere. We're both HUD approved housing counselors, which means that we can work from anywhere that you're calling any one of your listeners, and where we can't, we definitely have the capacity to make referrals to help get the job done. Our job is never over. We're kind of like morticians. You know, people got to leave out of here. People always got to have a place to stay. Whether you're a renter, whether you're a homeowner, and even if you're homeless, you still got to have somewhere to lay your head at night. So we offer an invaluable service to the community at large.
Absolutely. So, Miss Mary, he was supposed to be talking about you, but I'm just
I
gonna
said we.
look. I'm gonna jump right in and ask the first question. What is Agora? I see that AGORA. What is Agora? Can you educate us, please? You gotta turn your mic on.
Agora is a Greek word for marketplace.
Okay.
It's also a spiritual word for place of redemption. So that's where it came from because that's why we started it. We know that there were so many pitfalls concerning housing, that they had to be redeemed. You have to have some place, like Robert said, you have to have some place to put your stuff and to live. So, and the marketplace is where everyone is. So we wanted to be involved in something that put us right in the midst of things and to then be able to mainly determine what is it that they need, and then we find a way to help them. So there's a lot of reasons why people have housing questions. There could be just, I want to buy. It could be, I don't know how to grow with my family concerning my housing. That's why we really urge the federal government to allow us to become housing advisors, because counseling gave it a negative um, connection in the minds of people that if you only call them when you in trouble. Well, no, we wanted it to be, let's connect with housing advising and let's sidetrack some of those troubles. Let's target in on the areas that are causing the troubles and let's fix them. Let's find a way to understand what it is we have to know in order to successfully have a home, successfully retain rental housing, and successfully go from homelessness into having your own roof, because it is possible. You just need a path. And what we really have dedicated ourselves to is making sure that we are targeting those things that are hindering that from happening. Um, Agora, like I said, it's the marketplace. It's about money. It's about what is out there that people want. And then what do they want to keep? Now, how do we keep it? We cannot rely on anyone else to help us keep our homes. We have to know what to do and what not to do. So, financial literacy is our foundation. We spend more time talking about money and finances than even housing. That's the last thing. So right now our focus is on helping homeowners, renters, whomever, everyone needs housing. I don't know anyone that don't understand what it is they need to do to get what they want in
So,
housing for their
so,
family.
so, I noticed you said, financing is, highlight of your conversations with a lot of people. But then, you also mentioned people that might be less fortunate and consider themselves homeless. They ain't got no job to be able to, pay no bills. That's why they homeless. That's why they stand under viaducts. So, and they probably not interested in getting a job. Okay. They have fallen into a state of mind where, where they at, they home is, with them on their back, and they
Hmm.
find luggage, jewels, grocery bag, So people that are in a state of mind like that, how do you get them out of that? How do you get them to a place where say, look, we got a program for you. We got something that you might be interested in, but you got to do like almost a brain surgery to get them to a place where they can even see and understand what you're talking about. So, what do you do in a situation like that?
I asked the one question:
Hmm.
what do you want? Ask them what they want.
And
If they're
they tell you they want a house.
Yes, if you say you want a house, then you
A
are
homeless
already
person?
have a homeless person.
Really?
Only one that we can't help is someone that don't want a roof over their head. They want to stay underneath that viaduct. And there are people that are like that. They
I
don't want that
know.
responsibility. We're not there for them. They
Okay.
have their home. They feel safe. They feel good
Okay.
when they go to sleep at night.
All right.
They have their home. It might be a cardboard box, but it's what they want as
What
home.
they call
You
home,
can't
right?
you can't change that. That's they've either given up or this is just simply what they want. That's why people go off the grid and go up in the mountains and live off the land. They don't want the responsibility of bills and meeting deadlines and doing what someone else tells them to do.
Right.
We ask them, what do they want?
Okay.
Everybody wants something. We just want to ask them what they want. We're not going to tell about any programs. We're going to find out what they want. And then from there, we're going to say, well, you know what? There's a couple of ways, probably more than a couple of paths that you could take to get there. You interested?
Okay.
And then we just go from there.
All
You
right.
can't make anybody do anything, but you
No.
can ask them what they want.
And it's funny you should say that because back, what, about a year or so ago, when they were having all these press conferences about the migrants coming to this country, and they would put them up in closed schools and every space that the city owned to try and help these people. And then there was a group of, I don't know whether they were activists or, media pimps or whatever you want to call them. They would go on the news and say, well, you doing all these things for all these migrants. Well, why you don't help these people under the viaduct? And I didn't see not one person under the viaduct standing with them talking about, yeah, help us. So they were making up a problem that they felt like they needed to try and solve for somebody who wasn't asking for any help, you know?
That's true. That's true. And they didn't have them there for a reason, but also the ones that aren't in the under the viaduct, they weren't there either. I get there's something called City Key, and a lot of the migrants came. They spent the night camped outside my office, waiting for the next day when we were going to open up and produce these city keys for them because they would then have IDs. Well, gathering them together, they know AGORA and they know what we're about. And we encourage them to really understand what it is they're trying to accomplish and make sure they're lining up with whatever's going to get them there. And if it's
Mm-hmm.
not going to get you there, don't line up with it. Simple as that. So it was an opportunity for us to reach at least 250, 300 immigrants. And that leads me to just knowing that and understanding that we have to embrace them. Just because they are here doesn't mean they're enemies. Anybody deserves housing. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
deserves housing. And I believe there's enough square footage for everybody. We
Yeah,
just have to put pressure on the pressure points and make sure it gets done.
absolutely. Yeah, I haven't made the migrants enemies of mine or anybody enemies of mine. I feel like they have a right, just like anybody else, to try and improve their quality of life. And some people have turned them into an enemy because they listen to whatever's
Right,
going on, and they feel like, oh, I need to hate them. Well, you got to
right.
remember, once upon a time they was hating me for the color of my skin.
Hmm.
Now I hadn't done
That didn't
anything to
feel good.
anybody. I didn't do nothing in the civil rights movement back in the '60s. I heard about because I ain't that old. They used to hate me because of the color of my skin. Okay, now I hadn't done anything to anybody, but they hated me, and I mean hated me, just like that they're doing these people that have come here from other countries, no matter what country it was. They just hate them. They don't even have a reason to hate them. I guess they feel like because if they ain't hating me, it's good to hate somebody else. But that's the wrong way to look at it. I feel, that's just my personal opinion. But I applaud you for helping them, doing what you do. And what are some more things about yourself. Now you explain what Agora is. Now what about yourself? I heard you say housing counselor, housing what? What was that other word?
Housing housing advisors are what we are now. We've been allowed by the federal government to call ourselves that. So we're housing advisors. So if you have a plan to one day get married, or you already own a home and you're going to get married one day, we will advise you on the steps to take towards that so that it's done open-eyed and no nothing, so no surprises, and you're one, you and your future spouse. um because life changes. The colors that we loved when we were three, those not our favorite colors anymore because we're older. We're thinking and doing different things. So we have to deal with people as of today. So I have one son that he's an entrepreneur as well, which means I really believe that no one needs a job. You need an income and you have a talent. We also add that in there. We don't believe that you have to restrict yourself only to a job. You have a talent. You have something somebody else needs. Let's see if we can find out what it is. And we actually will help them do that so that it will supplement the need that they have to make sure that they can have sustainable income. There's last thing I'm going to say something because I want Robert to be able to get in here. I don't believe that um, when you are looking for a job that you have to understand how much money you actually need or want or desire. Because if we don't know what our bottom line is, we have nothing to shoot for. We have nothing to say, okay, we're almost there. You don't even know where there is. So, understanding what your bottom line is, what do you need to meet all of your financial obligations, that habit is going to make sure that you have a good time at achieving your goals. You'll have some challenges. I didn't say you didn't and wouldn't, but it won't be nowhere near as many because you know some things about yourself. So me, I started as a real estate broker, but I only wanted to do that because I loved the fact that we need to know everything we can know about housing so that we can house our family.
So, Robert, so do you work with Agora in some way or some form or fashion?
We partner with answer this like this. We partner with all agents. Sometimes we have to make referrals for some services that we don't provide, and there are some things that Agora can provide as well as the agency that I work for or work with. Just to let people know that I do work um, with South Suburban Housing Center. She's with Agora, but there are a multitude of services. Some services provide reverse mortgage counseling. Our agency doesn't have reverse mortgage counseling, so you can refer them to Agora or reverse mortgage counseling. Matter of fact, um, that was one of the ways that we met was doing the reverse mortgage counseling, referring, and we still do. We refer clients to them. We also travel sometimes to other venues for training, and that's where I first had met Mary, as well as a lot of other counselors. So it's a network of people that work together with intermediaries. Our intermediaries are important means of support for uh, providing programs, mentorship, and training, also for what we do. So just to answer that question briefly, but we also, um, with being a HUD approved um, housing council, we're trained. I believe, Mary, if I'm correct, is 7 core competencies that we all have to provide service levels in these core competencies. For example, we're talking about rental assistance. We're talking about home dealing with homelessness. We're talking about default and delinquency, foreclosure intervention. Um, there's so many um, pre-purchase, post-purchase. There are so many different components that's in it that you receive for training that people sometimes want to know, why do I need to talk to you? What can I get out of you? Sometimes they come to you and want to know how much money you gonna give me. You know, I know you remember when we had the hardest hit fund, and when
Right.
you met me, Ron, I was working off the 35th Estate.
Right.
So we had a guy that came in off the street. He was homeless. He heard on the radio he could get $25,000, and that man came into 35th Street to what was that, Parties and Community Building. That man wanted his $25,000. He was arguing. He said, "Man, I can do this and do that." What I do? I said, "Sir, it don't work that way."
Right.
So it's just so many services. But our job is to explain and to tie um, our clients into what programs and what things will help them and what things won't help them. So but both myself and man, we both uh, do this the same things and provide the same services, but there are some things that I can't give because we don't have the funding to do that. So we refer to other agencies that have the funding that provide that service.
Yeah. And it's funny you should say that because I remember way back when, that was a long time ago. I was interviewing State Representative LaShawn Ford, and he started talking about the hardest hit program back in the days, and that's what led me to go look for you guys. I was like, "Where y'all at? Y'all hiding somewhere?" And you was over there in what is it, Illinois Institute of Technology. You know,
In that building, yes.
yeah, y'all was over there. And when I found you, I wouldn't let you go. I've been holding on to him ever since. And now I
Oh, that
bring
is
here.
right. That's where we did our first show together.
Yeah, sure was. You brought in one of your teammates, and y'all came over. I think it was owner of the company, wasn't it? Wasn't it a lady?
Her son.
Yeah,
It was her son.
yeah.
And
Came over there, and we started putting information out there, and then fast forward to I think last year, I was telling you about programs. You
that's
know,
right.
you know.
Promise to Sean Ford.
Yep, yep. Just keeping up what's going on. So now that all the COVID programs have exhausted and gone, what I know, what's kind of the funding that's popping up now? What's the help that's coming up now? Now, keep in mind, you know, I'm gonna quote
Thank you,
somebody.
Ashley.
Yeah, I'm gonna quote what somebody I saw on social media earlier today said that orange-haired orangutan has cut everything. Now, I didn't say that, y'all, so don't get mad at me. I'm
Well,
letting
there's
y'all
an
know
update.
that's a quote. That's a quote from somebody else. I can't take credit for it. But
We know you
prior,
didn't say that. We
right,
know you didn't say that.
right. So prior to us going live at 5, I saw the governor of the state of Illinois saying that the federal government mysteriously shut down all websites affiliating with services
Hmm.
that they get funding for and offer. So we're going to say, this information might be null and void if one of those computer websites and stuff that you knew about and were offering might not be able to offer it anymore after the day. But what's available now? What are some of the things that are available now? Since we know COVID was paying people's rent, people was helping people with mortgage, all those funds and programs are exhausted. So what's happening on the street now? Keep us up to date.
Let me bring you up to date on some things, and this is not hearsay. This is coming directly off of releases that we receive at our agency. I also put things out there. I think Miss Mary got some, and several other people would have gotten this. But this freeze was supposed to go into effect today at 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
At 5 o'clock, what this freeze would have done, it would have prevented the following things that I'm about to say. and then I can answer that. But I want to clear the air on that for people that are listening. But it would have failed if the freeze went into effect. It would have provided or failed to provide rental assistance to help low income individuals, households afford their home. Uh, you would not have been able to build and preserve the affordable rental housing programs for low income households. You would not have been able to operate and maintain public housing and homes for seniors and people with disabilities. Address and prevent homelessness. There would not have been any money or funding to prevent homelessness. And just to let you know that we have the highest rate of homelessness on record in the history of this country right now, as I'm speaking, especially out on the West Coast. And that number even increased with the fires. There are many people that were burned out of their homes. So, and that would have prevented that. Neighborhoods would not have been able to be revitalized. Economic development would have been non-existent, and community facilities, infrastructure, all that would have been gone. Now, here's one that everybody that's listening under the sound of my voice need to remember this. Dr. Martin Luther King, he passed in 1968. He was assassinated. So we would not have been able to investigate fair housing rights and civil rights laws. That would not have been any funding for that what he died for. So now fast forward 50 plus years, that would have been done. That was attempted to have been done with the swipe of a pen. Um, no need to worry about it. He said he was going to do it. Rebuild housing and infrastructure after major disasters. So you're looking at FEMA, you're looking at other organizations, and then things that would have been done to help mitigate the future harm. And this one here that affects you if you're in the 35 year old club going down to 25 is to provide down payment assistance. You would not have been able to get that to new home buyers and help current homeowners make critical repairs on their home. To give you a good example of that, the state of Illinois has a program out that you can't apply for it right now. So if you're listening, don't ask Dr. Ron, can I get a hold of that money? That's $60,000 because you can't even apply for it. But for those who did get the grant, uh, and they had their homes worked on, my cousin was fortunate enough to get it. They lifted her house and provided and put a foundation in. $40,000 worth of work. They paid
Mm,
almost $47,000.
mm.
But now you got some people that were approved and they're right in the middle of their repairs. So there are people that were afraid, so they were calling my office and they were saying, "Hey, are they gonna pay? They're gonna pay. This is going on my house. That's going on my house. They ain't gonna pay. No, they're not gonna pay because they're not gonna get paid." So they were afraid that they weren't going to get their money. These people's houses are in a disarray because it was right in the middle of that. So what happened with this, when I was on my way, getting ready to get on the show, um, on my way trying to get to the camera, and we were doing all this, and I'm gonna tell you, people, y'all listening, Dr. Ron is an amazing guy. He can put things together, man, at the drop of a hat, man. He's like Superman.
Bless
But
you. Bless you.
so I was coming here, and the judge temporarily blocked what the President Trump was trying to do.
All
He
right
blocked
now.
it. He put a temporary hold on it. So those of you that are listening, you need to find out who this judge was and reelect him, get him back in there.
Absolutely.
So because he blocked it, he said that this would disrupt the flow of the country and the economy, and it could cause chaos, which it could.
Right.
Because you know how folks are when things get tight and they know
Man,
they got to eat and they got to do this. They hit the street. They getting ready. You could be a victim.
that's right.
So they prevented this at the ninth hour. This was supposed to happen at 5 o'clock. So this afternoon they went back. This morning he put it in effect, signed it. But this afternoon they canned that. He said, no, we're not gonna let this happen. We put a temporary halt so we can look at this. Uh, the programs that could have been included with this to make it even plainer to our listeners, include Section 8 housing choice vouchers, project based rental assistance, homeless assistance grants, public housing operating and capital funds, home investment partnership programs, community development block grants that involves everybody that live on the south side, the west side of Chicago, and the southeast side. Section 811, which deals with housing for persons with disabilities, and more. This is what this would have done to impact us. Section 202, housing for the elderly, housing for persons with AIDS, fair housing, housing counseling. This is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
It would have affected us not just here in Chicago, but all over the United States of America. Eviction prevention grants. Some of you that have CBRAP, court-based rental assistance programs, and you're facing eviction, that would have pulled the plug on that, and you might have got put out of your house.
Mm.
So, this is serious. National Housing Trust funds. And then if you're Native American tribal housing program and a lot of other programs, this thing would have happened. So you need to wake up and look at what's going on. This is what we did in November
Mm.
as a people, as a country. This is what we did. Now, can we correct what happened? No, we can't correct what happened. But you need to when you wake, but before you go to bed at night, you need to say, "I lay me down to sleep. I pray, dear Lord, my soul you keep. If I should die before I wake," y'all know how we used to do it. And
Say-
when you wake up, you need to thank God for what you got.
right.
I mean, I'm just being serious here.
Absolutely.
There's no time to sit over here and cry over spilt milk. You want to do something about it? Write your congressman. Get out on the street. Get together. Get together and protest what's going on. So, but this actually happened. So now, getting to the other question that you asked, you said, "What's out there now
Right.
to help homeowners, to help people who are trying to purchase homes?" Maybe Mary can probably touch a little bit on that for pre-purchase. She's a guru at that. But I work in default delinquency and foreclosure intervention, and I like to think that I've been gifted with that. And I will tell you straight that there's no money out there right now
Mm.
to really help you. It's limited. It's limited. I'm not gonna say none.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe Thornton Township had a program.
Mm-hmm.
If you're at, you know who's in Thornton Township, but we won't. That's another talk for another show.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a program that was able to help homeowners with that was 3 months, 90 days or behind, and they had to be working. Um, but there's not a lot of money out there. My hats off to our governor, Governor Pritzker, who reinstated the the Illinois Housing Assistance Fund in the past because he would not let that money go back to the federal government, but he spent every dollar that he could to
Mm-hmm.
assist homeowners, and he really did that.
Right.
Over almost $500 million went to assist people who were losing their homes, and he wanted to make sure he kept extending the program and extending the program until they exhausted every dollar to do that. And that program just ended October of 2023. But then after
24.
that, we had
24.
24.
Yeah.
No, it was 23. That was the last. That was the last round that they could apply
Okay.
for.
Gotcha.
Um, and now, what happened when we got into 2024? We had two things that happened that just knocked everything into a tailspin. We had an increase in interest rates. Um, we had increase in inflation. Three things: increase in inflation, and then we had an increase in property taxes.
Yep.
And that just did not happen here in Cook County. That happened all over the country. But here in Cook County, it affected a lot of homeowners the worst, especially those in the south suburbs.
Right.
People's homes went up uh, as much as little as 300, but as much as some of them $900
That's right.
um, a month on their mortgage payments.
That's right.
And then with the modification in place because the interest rates went up, their mortgage payments went up just on that fact alone. So now you have people who were paying probably $1,100, $1,200 a month. Now they're paying $2,100 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're looking for help. They fell behind, looking for help, looking for assistance. So the only thing that you can do is try to work with your lender. They tell you to try to make sure you got all your exemptions filed. Um, and if you couldn't do that, then they gave you liquidation options. Guess
Right.
what, Doc? We're still wrestling with this problem.
Yeah.
We have people who sit in place that we elected, and they tell you, hey, we can't do anything. But I have a message to those of you who are in the political arena. You better find some solutions quick
Yeah.
because we got midterms coming up. We got other things that are coming up, and the people are wanting answers. And guess what? They're not getting them in the political level.
You're right.
They're stuck.
That's
We're
right.
stuck. We're paying $8, $9 for a dozen eggs now.
Man, 8, 9. You talking about 15, $20 in
And,
California? Yeah.
and another thing that we have to look at. What has been said was that the prices of things that are going up, they're not coming down. Expect them to stay that way,
That's right.
even after all this is straightened out. So with that, coupled with people not the cost of living, some people don't have not received a cost of living adjustment where they're working. So they're scrambling to try to figure out how they're going to take care of basic needs and basic necessities. So,
Absolutely.
this is a time that if you know God, you definitely need to pray. I pray all the time. So,
I
but
know that's right.
if you don't, you need to, because
Yeah.
this is a crisis where it's serious. However, what you should do is you still need to talk with the housing counselor because our ears are always to the ground, looking, listening, trying to hear what's going on. There are people who are getting help. I'm not saying everybody's not getting help. They're getting help. They're doing a number of different things. Um, I appreciate one thing that AGORA is doing that I like is on Friday. Every Friday they're meeting with Miss Mary, and they're meeting in a Zoom session, and she's literally teaching people how to budget, what they need to do to reassess their budget. There was a guy that came out and he said this. He said, "What we need to learn how to do is we need to save now. We need to go into a crisis mode and learn how to save and get along with what we need instead of getting along with trying to get all this extra stuff that we don't need.
Right.
You
That's
know,
right.
I don't need to go to the barber. I guess y'all see that. So what are you gonna do? Rub my scalp? Uh, I don't go to get my beard trim. I do all this stuff myself. But if you
Yeah.
go over there, you can spend $30 a week trying to do this. If you get your hair and nails done, now y'all ladies know y'all can actually go out there. Some of them go every week. Don't look at me like that, Miss Man. But some of them go. Your nails cost 40. Nails and feet
50,
cost
$60. What you talking about
$60
40?
a
Where
week.
wait a minute.
Can't do
What Vietnamese shop you know doing it for 30? They might be able to get some business now. Yeah.
it. I don't know of any. Doc, I don't see where they get it done like that. But I
Right.
know that
It
they
costs
spend.
money. It costs money.
I know it spends at least 3 grand. Some people spend 3 grand or up to 3,500 a month to get a year to get this stuff done. That money can be used in other ways. Y'all like cable? Take that cable off and just get that plug in and stick it in there. Or if you want to stream, just get the internet. A lot of people don't. Some people still got cable. Why are you paying all that money? You want to get us security? Now y'all didn't hear this first. Y'all better go and get your concealed carry. Uh, and take their security off. They come in your house the wrong way. They might come out with their toes up. But I'm just saying, you got to think of ways that
To
you got to
save
do
money.
this to
Look,
to,
and,
to,
and,
save, to serve money.
and I say this all the
Even
time.
McDonald's, if you stop at McDonald's, that's a big one right there.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
I say this all the time. We people of color, black, African American, we've been here before. We know how to get beans. We know how to shop to feed a family of 12. Because some folks grew up with a family of 12. They know how to survive. So some of these other folks that's listening, if you don't know, you better ask somebody who's been here for a while because they're going to help you. Now, look, I got to do this because we're running out of time pretty fast here. I know you mentioned in the first early part of the show that you received a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award in 2024. How do you feel about that? What does it mean to you to have that award? People seeing what you've done throughout your career and say thank you for being a hero in our community. What does it mean to you?
Now you're gonna make me cry.
Cry, cry.
No, I ain't gonna.
I want to see a grown man cry.
Never. But on the serious note,
Uh huh.
on the serious note, when I think about it, you know, I don't do. Let me put it like this, because I think you can understand. You and I are military men,
Mm-hmm.
and one thing that I would have done for you if I saw you in trouble, I would have, and if your bunk on the ship or your compartment on the ship was on fire, I would have kicked that thing in and did whatever I had to do to get in under threat of my own life. And what would I do? I would have pulled you out of there,
Mm-hmm.
and you know that,
Right.
and you would have did the same for me.
Absolutely.
And so I'm like, and that's why I get all emotional stuff, because I had to do that before. I had to actually save people's lives and do this even at the threat of my own. But when I did it, I didn't think about it. If I had thought about it, I might not. I don't think I would have done it. If I had to go in there and get you, Ron, I said I ain't going there to get him. I might burn up. But I did it, and before I knew it, I was right there.
Right.
It's like this when it comes to what I do. When you don't know where you're gonna go, you're hurting. You don't know where your next meal is coming from. You don't know if you're gonna live in your house. You don't know if you're gonna lose your house, and everything that you have is gonna be put out in the street. I I did that to help people, not to get a thank you, not so much to get a paycheck, because when you think about what we do, you can't even pay us enough to do what we do.
Right.
Because you got people that make money on and got shows that come on here on radio telling you to come in and do this and get a modification. How much did you save? And you pay them $750 a month to do it, and they don't even do or even can give you what we do. We don't look for any money. We don't ask for any money. Our services are free.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? When we do them, you don't get paid right away. You might not get paid for 6 to 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody comes to you to get help, you still have to do it.
Right.
So for me to get someone to come back and say, Robert, we thank you for what you have done for uh, for us as a nation, as an individual, or whatever, and to get an award like that, I said earlier, it humbles me to think that somebody thought that of you, to put your name in and submit your name for something like that, to put you in an elite group of individuals in this country. That's a very select group of people. to be put in there, but for your name to go in there, it humbles me because it's not what you do as a housing counselor, it's what you did as a person at different points and times in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us, when I Dr. Ron, when I went to the last one, and because we're in an elite group, we come out to support others that are getting the award. What the veterans that was there, these men were war veterans,
That's right.
war veterans that gave their life and their time away from their families to go out and do something. But not only were they war veterans, but these men were ministers, uh, community official leaders
Right.
who still gave their service.
That's
And
right.
for me to be in a company of people like that, that humbled me. Radio personalities, different people, that humbled me just to be in that elite group with these guys.
Yeah.
And more and recently, um, my bishop is going to be honored.
Yeah.
That's an elite group, and so you want to know how I felt. Um, I don't feel like I don't feel like I deserve it, but I got it. But it's just that's how I think that there's so many others out there that have done things that haven't gotten it. Maybe they'll get it later on. Maybe I need to get them ready, depending on what this president does. Uh, maybe I need to get them considered. But that's how I feel. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, uh, others and people who nominated me, I really appreciate them and love them to life. And the men that I met that received it, there's so many great men that received it, and I was able to sit down and have a piece of chicken and some greens and baked beans and stuff with them. Uh, just a few months ago, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
Yeah. Well, good. Good. You're worth it and some. We can't say you thank you enough for what you've done for the community. And part of what I do here is to be able to celebrate heroes and sheroes that are people don't know nothing about. So they know you now. And you've been honored. So hey man, keep up the good work. Now that we got
You are honorary too. You are honorary too.
yes sir. Yeah.
Mhm.
So one of the things I want to do now, because we're running out of time, and I know Miss Mary been sitting there looking so patiently waiting. What I like to do is give Miss Mary an opportunity to tell people where they can find her and some more about the services that you offer, so they just ain't calling you trying to take you out to lunch, wasting your time because you got people to help and people to service, and you ain't got time to be taken out on a date. So I just have to tell people that up front. This is not Facebook dating, okay? So Miss Mary, will you please tell folks where they can find you at and some of the things that you might be able to help them with? You got to turn your mic on, baby.
Okay.
There you go.
I thank you for reminding me to turn that mic on. We need a mic, don't we? Well, we're located on the southeast side of Chicago, 1831 East 79th Street. The best way to connect with us is if you have an email, you can call us at 773-483-3888. That's 773-483-3888. Our address is 1831 East 79th Street. However, we're still doing remote counseling right now until February the 1st. But after that, we'll be back in the office, and it's by appointment only. But remember that number, 773-483-3888, and you will connect to AGORA. I want to give you some hope, though. There's a lot of things going on that we don't know, and we don't know what we don't know. But what we can do is understand what it is we can do. And we're here to help you do that. I want to mention one thing. Some people have refunds coming. Allow a housing advisor to give you some insights on what you can do with that refund. that can really set you on a path for success and to be able to ride out whatever we have to ride out, because that's what we're doing right now. We have to ride out some things. Allow us to help you work with your budgeting, because if you have a budget, then you're going to be able to make the wisest financial decisions in the next 3 to 4 months. And that's going to be very crucial with renters, because there's a stop on, because the stop has been, no one, there's been an injunction on that uh, executive order that was put out on social services. Now is the time for you to talk with a housing advisor and find out, how do I connect, if I'm a renter, to the court-based rental services. Get in there, get it done, get it finished. We don't know how long the injunction is going to stay. So we want to make sure that we're able to get people in there. So if you're a renter and you need assistance, definitely talk to a housing advising agency. If you're a homeowner, modifications are still there. Federal government have nothing to do with a bank being able to give you a modification so that you can stay in your home. If you have a home, if you're behind and you own your home, you don't have a mortgage on it, there's reverse mortgage. We can share with you exactly how you can use your home to ride this out and still be in the best possible financial position for your housing and your future. So we're looking forward to assisting anyone that's interested in making sure that if they want to buy a home, don't give up. This isn't the time to do that. You want to prepare. We want to prepare you for housing. Doesn't matter what kind it is, doesn't matter what the housing question is. Don't do anything until you talk to a housing advisor, because that's what we do. And we enjoy doing it.
Thank you, Miss Mary. Now, we're getting close to the end, so I always ask 2 questions of all of my guests. And since you're the one speaking at the moment, the first question is, will you come back and see me again?
Oh, what day? What time?
See, I have to get it on record. You said yes. The second question is, what would you like to leave with the people before you leave today?
Well, if anyone knows me, it's about unity. If you're feeling that you're being led to not like a group of people, don't do it. It's not going to help anything. Unity will allow us to come together. We have to have one main thing that everyone loves. Everyone loves music. That's a unifying factor. Use that. But find something to make sure that we're working towards unification so that we have one voice for all people.
Thank you for that. Robert, you've been here before, so you know the drill. Are you going to come visit with me again, sir?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess so.
And you took
Last
too long.
word I want to say.
Yes, sir. Go
never
ahead.
Lose hope. Don't lose hope. That's the second one.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, you want to give your contact information out there, or you want to remain anonymous?
My email, for those of you who want to reach out to me, is Robert R. Sanders @gmail.com. If you want to get in touch with me, I can be reached 708-957-4674, extension 107.
Thank you, sir. I want to thank both of you all for taking time out of your busy schedule to come join us on the show today. I think people that had a notepad and pencil took a lot of good notes today. So we'll get you back. We'll revisit some of the information, because I'm sure it's going to be a roller coaster of things happening with the government. So we're going to stay on top of it. But once again, I want to thank both of you all for taking time to come be with us today. I appreciate you. I'm going to slide over so I can end of the show. So I'm going to thank you all. Y'all stay right there. Don't go nowhere. I want to invite you all out to come join me tomorrow at 12 noon, tomorrow, Wednesday, 12 noon, for the Street News Now report, where we talk about news commentaries and highlights that are in the news. Me and Mr. Lee Michaels will be together on tomorrow. So join us, 12 noon tomorrow. Don't miss it. Also, join me each and every Saturday from the desk of Dr. Ron, each and every Saturday at 12 noon. That's why I give you what's on my mind, okay? And that's a lot sometimes. Being on what's on my mind can make you go crazy. Also, we're going to start back doing our Black History Moment. We celebrate Black History 365 days out of the year. We do not play. We be bringing the information so that we can celebrate our heroes, so don't miss that. I want to thank everybody that have made contributions up to this point in time. These are all the ways that you can make donations and contributions. I thank you all for participating and making donations. We can't do it without you. While you're here, please subscribe, like, and share. Hit that subscribe button. Send this out to somebody. Somebody can use this information. And please come back and see me tomorrow.